Let's hit some anytime goal scorers as well as safe shots from goal for some of these goalies. Give me both teams to score in the first period. That's coming in at plus 185 compared to the over 1.5 that is at minus 120. Okay, you guys ready? Let's make some freaking money. It's time for Pocket with Jo. Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. It's time for Pocket with Jo over here on SportsGrid TV on X. I hope everyone is having an incredible start to their day. Now, we had a loaded day of action out there on the ice yesterday, cashed some nice tickets, and now today, 5 games out there on the ice, and I know everyone's excited for the divisional matchups. Great day on the football field, so make sure you head on over to the SportsGrid app and check out the Madden Quickie. They're breaking down both of the games out there today. And then I will be live on the grid tonight for the matchup between the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs. So make sure you join myself, Scott Wetzel, and Adam Kaufman for our very last pro football game day of the season. We'll be live betting this game. So tune into SportsGrid all day for all of your football action. But let's jump into what we're looking at on the ice today. Now, with the 5 games on the ice, the first one kicks off at 1 p.m. Eastern. We're looking at the matchup between the Colorado Avalanche and the New York Rangers. Now, the Avs rolling in here off 3 disappointing losses. We've seen the New York Rangers start to really turn things around, winning their last 2. They're now minus 128 favorite here at home in the Garden. We got plus 106 for the Colorado Avalanche and a total of 5.5. The 5.5 is juiced to the over at minus 128, but we have seen these teams trend strongly to that under the last 6 meetings going under that total. Well, the last time these teams matched up, we did see just on the 14th, Colorado get that 3-2 win. And I do expect a very similar style game here. We got Mackenzie Blackwood jumping into net here for the Colorado Avalanche tonight and Igor Shesterkin for the New York Rangers. I'm expecting Shesterkin to stand tall between the pipes. He will need to if they want to get this win, because you look here at Colorado, they've been able to put those goals on the board in the majority of their games as of late. Yes, they're off that loss to the Boston Bruins yesterday. Day game. You look at those day games and they just normally are hard ones for teams to get things going. Now, we know Martin Necas coming on to this team, Rantanen leaving. I think that was a bit of a shock to most of the players out there. You're seeing statements by Nathan McKinnon saying he's really going to miss him playing with him. The Moose, I still can't believe that they traded him off, but we are seeing adjustments in those lines. I'm looking for Colorado, though, to be able to get it done versus the Rangers. They need to break this losing streak that they're on. Like I said, lost their last 3. That loss yesterday to the Bruins, 3-1. Now, we've seen the Rangers step up. Like I said, Panarin has been looking fantastic, winning their last 2. Their last win came versus the Flyers on Thursday, 6-1. I'd look for the Avs to come out strong in that first period, hit Igor Shesterkin right away, but straight up on that money line is where I'll go with the value that we're getting here at plus 106 on the Colorado Avalanche. Let's look at the next game here, you guys. Oh, sorry, I just hit the wrong thing. The next game here, as I try to get odds on FanDuel, I just closed my tab, you guys. Just bear with me for 1 sec for the odds on this one. So we're going to look at the Utah Hockey Club versus the Ottawa Senators. 5:10 Eastern matchup for this one. The Ottawa Senators rolling in as a favorite at home, minus 125. The last time they faced up with Utah, they were able to get the shutout win in that matchup. And you look at the Ottawa Senators and how they're trending to that under. 9 of their last 10 games have gone under the total. Total sitting at 5.5 today at minus 105 to the under, minus 115 to the over. And we've got Utah at plus 104 straight up on the money line. The Utah Hockey Club just don't instill a lot of confidence for me out there. I do think they have been having those struggles. They're off that loss, but a loss that we expected it to the Winnipeg Jets. Winnipeg so strong defensively, so strong in goal. They still were able to put up 2 goals. So pretty impressed with what I saw out of them versus the Winnipeg Jets. They have the Penguins on deck on Wednesday at home. Now, Vermalka expected in net and Levy coming in here for the Ottawa Senators. The Senators are on the second night of a back-to-back. They were able to get a win over the Toronto Maple Leafs. It felt like the books were begging us to take the Leafs. I fell for it yesterday. I actually ended up coming in live when we saw the Ottawa Senators go down in the first period, I was able to come back in on them. I like plus 250. It was actually insane, you guys. Again, I can't instill enough to watch those live betting lines. I know I had the Leafs going into it, but I was on in-game live and talking to so many people, just loving the Sens, as they did feel like the books were begging us to take the Leafs. So I fell for the Leafs, came back in at plus 250 for the Ottawa Senators. So I lost the Leafs, got the Senators, made a little bit of cash on that one. But now we got a Senators team with a total of 5.5. They're a minus 130 favorite. And I do think they can get the win, and this one stays under the total. So I don't mind parlaying them both together. I think they are correlated for the Sens to win and the under to hit. Even though we did see Utah put up 2 goals on the Jets, I do think on the second night of back-to-back, we'll see that defensive lockdown. And you look at the Ottawa Senators at home this season, 13-7-2. So strong at home. They covered the puck line in the last 4 versus the Central. So with here, the Utah Hockey Club sitting 6th in the Central. If you want to look here at a multi-goal game win here by the Ottawa Senators, minus 1.5 at plus 205. Can they do it and keep it under the total? They absolutely could. 2-1 or 3-1 style win here for the Sens, I don't think is out of the question today. So I'll look at the 3 style win. I'll sprinkle a little bit on that puck line. The Calgary Flames then take on the Winnipeg Jets. Now, Calgary rolling in here on the second night of a back-to-back. Damn, they got scrappy last night versus the Minnesota Wild. Marc-Andre Fleury got punched in the face. I don't know if you guys saw that, but the goaltenders are always off limits. And I was so disappointed in my Calgary Flames to see that game get so scrappy out there. Now, they were able to actually walk away with a 5-4 win over the Minnesota Wild. I didn't want to see it, you guys. I was backing Marc-Andre Fleury in the Minnesota Wild to get things done. Kaprizov was able to get us the assist. He was able to go over the 3+. Well, he hit 3 shots on goal. So the 3+ shots on goals did cash if you bet that. And his point. I think Marc-Andre Fleury, I can't believe how much they rattled him. We saw Dustin Wolf in on the other side. Now, coming into this one, Calgary is almost a $2 underdog, plus 198, but rightly so. This team on a second night of a back-to-back hasn't been strong, and Dan Vladar will be in net. The Winnipeg Jets, so strong defensively and so strong on their home ice, are a minus 1 or 245 favorite here. We got a total of 5.5. Minus 120 to the over and minus 102 to the under. Now you got to think, what is Calgary going to be able to do offensively? Can we see them get 2 goals like the Utah Hockey Club was able to get on the Winnipeg Jets? We might be able to see them do that, but it's Winnipeg who I trust to get those goals. You look at Winnipeg, the power play, it's converting 32.4% of the time. And the Calgary Flames, their kill isn't great, 72.3%. They played scrappy last night. Look for them to bring those emotions into today's game as well. I think we get a scrappy Calgary team on a second night of back-to-back, tired legs out there, and the Winnipeg Jets are able to score on Dan Vladar. I'll take the Jets to win this one big, laying 1.5 on the puck line. Won't be shocked if they cover an alt puck line laying 2.5 goals in this one. The regular puck line laying 1.5 goals is coming in at plus 110. I also think they can get at least 4 goals, expecting 5 goals out of the Winnipeg Jets, in my opinion, tonight. 5-3, 5-2 style win here for the Winnipeg Jets. So they're over 3.5 goals coming in at minus 108. I think it's a really solid way to go in this matchup. Now, I am looking at the power play points tonight for the Winnipeg Jets, because I think with that conversion on the power play, the weak kill here for the Calgary Flames and the Calgary on the second night of back-to-back, that's where you need to go if you're looking at the points now. Kyle Connor, Mark Scheifele, and Josh Morrissey for those power play points tonight. The caution here with Josh Morrissey, he's listed day-to-day right now. I do think he plays in this game. All the books have him listed, but a little bit of an injury concern for him. We've also seen the Calgary Flames lose their last 4 on the second night of a back-to-back, so just not a strong suit for this team. No look ahead for the Winnipeg Jets where we could look to fade them. They've won their last 2. Like I said, they're at Montreal on Tuesday to start a 3-game road trip. Not a really hard road trip, so they're not looking ahead to that. It is a Sunday game here. They don't hit the road tomorrow, so I'm feeling pretty confident in the Winnipeg Jets, sitting first in the Central, to come out nice and strong in this one. Vinny, good morning. You're going to jump on the Rangers train. I don't blame you. The Rangers have been playing good as of late, and Colorado has been sliding in the opposite direction. So if you look at Kuzmenko has scored on the road in the last 2 games for the Calgary Flames. That's where I would go. Stay away from Nazem Kadri out there on the road. Jonathan Huberdeau has been strong as well. But yeah, it's Kyle Connor, Mark Scheifele, and Josh Morrissey for me for the Winnipeg Jets. The Minnesota Wild taking on the Chicago Blackhawks is our next game. Now, this one kicks off at 7 p.m. Eastern, well, just after at 7:10. The Wild, off that loss to the Calgary Flames last night in a highly scrappy, high-scoring game, are now a $2 favorite over the Chicago Blackhawks, who are plus 164 at home. This total sitting at 5.5 at minus 134 to the over, plus 110 to the under. You guys, I'm taking this one under. We know the Minnesota Wild did get into that pond hockey game with the Calgary Flames last night, and they're not going to look to do that again. They're going to look to get up in this one and then lock down the Chicago Blackhawks. Remember, the Chicago Blackhawks were part of that trade. Taylor Hall now out of their lineup. And I do think this team will struggle to score on Gustafsson. Now, Gustafsson has been up and down on the season, but I'm looking for him to play stronger between the pipes tonight. Peter Mrazek on the other side here for the Minnesota Wild is your concern piece with that total staying under the 5.5. If the Minnesota Wild don't play their normal game plan of getting up and then locking down, we could see this one trickle over that total. So with the Wild losing their last two, they are stronger on the road than they are at home. 17-5-3 on the season on the road. Looking at the Chicago Blackhawks, they've lost their last two. They're 10-13-2 at home on the season, sitting 8th in the Central. Yes, they have the rest advantage here with not playing yesterday. And yes, they were able to push the Tampa Bay Lightning into overtime in their last game on Friday, 4-3. But they actually do have the Lightning again on deck on Tuesday. So they have that road and home situation here with the Tampa Bay Lightning. No, they won't look past the Minnesota Wild, but the Minnesota Wild are fighting for a top playoff spot out here. And I do think they are the better team. They should be able to limit the Chicago Blackhawks today. So what I'm going to do with this one, they've won their last 5 as a favorite on the second night of a back-to-back here for the Minnesota Wild. I think this is a 4-2 style win for them. I would look at the first period puck line. I love teams coming in off of a strong performance the night before, but just losing their games to come in that first period and seek revenge on their new opponent, especially an opponent that is rested, because I do think that team that's coming off that game yesterday starts faster in that first period because they know they could tire during this game. So look for the Minnesota Wild on the puck line in the first period to cover the half a goal that's coming in at plus 132. Kaprizov, like I said, had the assist and 3 shots on goal in the last game. I'd look at him for his points again in this one. Now, the Wild are 6-1 in the last 7 meetings in Chicago. Tyler Bertuzzi has been strong, as well as Connor Bedard, but I do think this is a game where the Wild get things done. The last game on the board, keep riding the first period over 1.5. Which game are you looking to ride the first period over 1.5 in Cal? Let me know what you're thinking there. I'm going to stay off the Wild and the Chicago Blackhawks over 1.5 because I could see the Wild going up 1-0. I would look at the Winnipeg Jets and the Calgary Flames probably over the 1.5. I think Winnipeg and Calgary both can score in the first period in that one. And then we see that lockdown of the Winnipeg Jets as they run away with this game later in it. Utah and Ottawa, I'm going to stay off. The Colorado Avalanche and the New York Rangers, I do like that one over 1.5 in the first period. And I do like both teams to score. I think we get the best effort out of both of those teams in that first period. But looking at the Florida Panthers and the Vegas Golden Knights, another game I could see being a 4-3 style win, and I do like both teams to score in the first period and the over. Yes, these defenses need to come out nice and strong, but we have backup goaltenders in for both of these teams tonight. Spencer Knight, I do think, is a stronger goaltender between the Florida Panthers and Vegas with Samsonov. Back here, I think Vegas at home, I don't want to step in front of them in this one, you guys. Vegas at home is minus 125 on the money line. I think this game goes to overtime. That's my favorite bet of this game. Overtime coming in up plus 300. I also think it goes over that total of 5.5 because of it. With these backup goaltenders, I expect the offenses to have the upper hand. Now, this is the second night of a back-to-back here. For the Florida Panthers, they then have the Kings on deck on Wednesday. They're off the win last night versus the San Jose Sharks. So when we look at them coming in, 7-2 win over the San Jose Sharks, they should be able to come out and score on Samsonov in the first period. Vegas is off that loss to the Dallas Stars on the road on Friday. That was an insane loss out there. Vegas looked like they were going to get it. They came up against Jake Ottinger. He was so hot in goal. So I'm looking for both of these teams to know they need to come out on fire offensively to start. I'm going to take Barkov here for the anytime goal and Jack Eichel for the anytime goal. So one from the Panthers, Barkov, and one from the Vegas Golden Knights, Jack Eichel. But if you want to look at another player who's really been stepping up for the last 5 games, we have seen Thomas Hertl find the back of the net, lighting that lamp. So Thomas Hertl, Jack Eichel, Barkov, Matthew Tkachuk is going to play a big role in tonight's game. So lots of playmakers to look at. The last time these teams faced up in October, we saw the Florida Panthers with that 4-3 win out there. So I think this is another game where we do see a 4-3 style game because of overtime. We've seen the Florida Panthers cover the puck line in their last 8 games on the second night of a back-to-back. So they have come in to those games nice and strong, kept it competitive. I do think this is a live betting game here. If we see one of these teams go up by 2 goals, coming in on the opposite team plus the 1.5 on the puck line, because I do have so much faith in this one going to overtime. If you want to live bet that dog to come back, you have every opportunity to do so. I would do so if it's Vegas. I would only take Vegas if they go down 2 goals to come back and get the win at home in the Fortress. But should be a good game, you guys. Let's quickly do the recap. The Chicago game. Yeah, I'm going to stay off the Chicago game for the first period over 1.5. I just like the first period puck line here for the Minnesota Wild. I'm not sure Chicago will be able to score to push us over 1.5. Now, the Minnesota Wild should be able to put up 2 goals here on Peter Mrazek, but I think it's a little bit more cautious in that first period once they score the first. Okay, you guys, it is time for the recap, and then let's get watching these games on the football field kicking off in the next couple hours here. Stay tuned for, my Cup of Joe is up. The Madden Quickie is up on the SportsGrid app as well, so stay tuned. Check those out for sure, and stay tuned for any late bets that I have coming in as well. I know on my Cup of Joe, I missed Austin Eckler, so Austin Eckler I have circled for his rushing props today. Just to let you guys know that. Recap time. The Colorado Avalanche taking on the New York Rangers. Give me the Avs. I know some of you are on the Rangers in this one. The Avs have to break this losing streak that they're on, losing their last 3. We have seen the Rangers stand nice and tall, winning their last 2, looking to really turn things around on the season. The under is a strong trend between these 2 teams. 6 of the last 6 games have gone under that total. I do think with the goaltending, we should see a lower scoring game, very similar to the game on the 14th, 3-2 style win for one of these teams. I do think this one is worth a shot at overtime. 2-2 going into overtime, keeping us under that total of 5.5. The Utah Hockey Club versus the Ottawa Senators. Ottawa trends to that under. 9 of their last 10 games have gone under the total. They are so strong at home as well. 13-7-2. Give me the Ottawa Senators for the win and the under 5.5. The Calgary Flames versus the Winnipeg Jets. Winnipeg is who I trust in this matchup. Give me the Winnipeg Jets to win this by multi-goals here. Calgary on the second night of a back-to-back hasn't been a strong suit, and the Winnipeg Jets are so strong on that power play. The kill is weak here for the Calgary Flames. Give me the Jets minus 1.5 on the puck line at plus 110. The over 3.5 goals as well at minus 108. I would also look for the power play points. Kyle Connor, Mark Scheifele, and Josh Morrissey here for the Winnipeg Jets. Again, watch if Josh Morrissey is playing, listed day-to-day, but all over the books for his props. Kuzmenko is who I'd look at for Calgary if you're looking for a player to circle for those points. The Minnesota Wild versus the Chicago Blackhawks. Give me the Wild puck line first period, laying a half ago at plus 132. Give me Kaprizov for his points again tonight. I do think if you're looking at anything for the Chicago Blackhawks, I'd look at Connor Bedard and Tyler Bertuzzi. Remember, Taylor Hall is now out of the lineup for this Chicago team. The under has been such a strong trend between these two. The under is 7-1-1 in the last 9 meetings and 3-0-1 in the last 4 in Chicago. The Florida Panthers versus the Vegas Golden Knights. I think Vegas can get the win here. Vegas money line minus 125, 4-3 style win. Favorite bet of this game is the overtime bet coming in at plus 300. I just don't want to step in front of Vegas at home in the Fortress. Backup goaltenders on both sides. the Florida Panthers on second night of a back-to-back, but they have been able to keep it tight in those situations. Look for the Florida Panthers and Vegas to have a one-goal game. If one of these teams goes up by 2 goals, come back in, live bet on the other side, plus 1.5 on the puck line. If Vegas goes down by 2 goals, you guys, I will be coming in on Vegas, sprinkled on the money line, because I think they should win this at home in the Fortress. But that is everything for you guys today. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm glad you liked the breakdown. Nathan McKinnon for 2 points, 1 maybe. Yeah, I would look at Nathan McKinnon to be really limited by Igor Shesterkin and the Rangers defense today. I do think we see him locked out a lot of this game, so it will trend to that under. You guys, all the best in all your bets. Again, thanks so much for joining me here on Pocket with Joe on SportsGrid TV. When you have a minute, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and head on over to the SportsGrid app to check out my Madden Quickie today. We got so much great action in the divisional weekend games. I can hardly wait. So sad to think this is our last Sunday with 2 games in the NFL of this season. Can't wait for Super Bowl, you guys. I really hope we get those upsets today. You guys, all the best in all of your bets. We'll be back tomorrow here at noon Eastern on the grid.
Hit some anytime goal scorers as well as safe shots on goal for some of these goals.